Hi, I'm Marrian Gutierrez, and on Crash Course English Literature, we'll be discussing Chapter 16 of Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen.
Mr. G, why can't we read something more contemporary like Alan Moore's The Killing Joke?
Well, me from the past, it's important to understand how the past affects the future. The chapter is titled Party Revelations as Elizabeth conversates with Mr. Wickham and reveals more about Mr. Darcy as a character. She takes all this information into her disgust towards Mr. Darcy and only furthers it. Our title, Under a Spell, works out as there are multiple attempts at deception and manipulation within Mr. Wickham's story. Elizabeth is caught in a figurative cage of stories being told, losing her sense of autonomy and unbiased judgment. Elizabeth and Mr. Wickham go on to talk about Catherine de Bow, and we're going to go to the thought bubble on that. It is later revealed that Catherine's actually Mr. Darcy's aunt. Mr. Darcy and actually wants her daughter, Miss de Bourgh, to marry Darcy in order to combine the family's wealth. That's the root of their marriage. And this is our key quote. Everyone is disgusted with his pride. You will not just find him more favorably spoken of by anyone. Austen, 1669. This quote stands out as one of the characterizations of Mr. Darcy under the lens of Elizabeth as a no-good, arrogant, prideful man who only cares for himself. His prideful nature only makes him more antagonistic towards Elizabeth, as pride is one of the 7 deadly sins, even seen as the most dangerous of the 7. The contrast between Elizabeth and Darcy comes from their stature and image to society. Elizabeth, one of the lower classes, seen as poor, confrontational, and just, while Darcy, one of the higher classes, is rich, aloof, and proud. This quote also shows Elizabeth's biggest character flaw. She takes people by their outward appearance and first acquaintance, judging Darcy even though she has only known him for a short time. Her prejudice in Pride and Prejudice. This is our graphical image. The relevance of this image is that Mr. Darcy is simply stating information that only has one side to the story, and worst of all, Elizabeth is only agreeing for her distaste towards Mr. Darcy and will favor anyone who talks negatively about him. Her need for confirmation bias is only strengthened after hearing about cruel and disgraceful acts of leaving Mr. Wickham out of the will of the late Mr. Darcy. Does Elizabeth's prejudice towards Mr. Darcy stem from the mistreatment by others, specifically men? Is Mr. Wickham just a backstabbing friend? What's up with the last name de Bourgh? Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.